Good morning on this beautiful Monday. Already 71 degrees here in Central Florida. Currently driving southbound here on State Road 436, aka Cimarron Boulevard, here in the city of Orlando. We're going to be approaching the airport here shortly. Took us a few extra minutes to head out this direction, but it's that Monday morning traffic with you guys. So glad you guys are with me. I am glad that I get to be with you here on this Monday morning. And we're headed over to Hazeltine National Drive and Cimarron Boulevard. Very busy intersection if you're familiar with it. It's about 2 to 3 intersections north of MCO, Orlando International Airport. Remember, that was rude. Excuse me, we do not call it OIA. At least according to Orlando International Airport, even though those are the initials, their airport code is MCO, and that's what we refer to it here in Central Florida. So if you refer to it as OIA, you're wrong. We're all wrong. We just got to change behavior. But what's really interesting, as we're making our ride here, we have a few minutes before we get there, the amount of people who still text on their phone. It's truly, I think it's increased over the past year. It went away for a while. We weren't seeing the problems. I've probably passed 20 cars since leaving the station that have their phone just sitting in their hand or on their lap. Like my phone right now, it's on, it's active. I've got our amazing webmaster, Donovan, my producer, currently in my ear, but my phone is right here, mounted, not even touch. I'm not going to touch it during this, and I never do, because, hey, I've got to focus on what's going on in front of me. How many people have you spoken to before, and to some capacity, and they're like, well, it's hands-free, I don't put it up to my head, and then they hold it while they're driving? Tell me how that makes sense. I call it job security, but it's just another version of these clowns that we see out and about on the road. Do yourself a favor, hop online. There's so many websites now that you could get a hands-free device to hold your phone for dollars. I'm talking probably $5 you can get it. And if you can afford a phone, you could in a car, I would encourage you to afford something that's going to hold your phone, because one, I don't want you to get a ticket, and two, I want you to drive safely. And when you're doing that, you may be thinking you're situationally aware, but I can promise you there's portions of your mind that are still attached to that phone. We want to eliminate that as much as possible. Talk about a great weekend. I got to spend some time out in Titusville for the Wheels in Motion car show at Fox Lake Park, and I could not have asked for a better, beautiful day. It was gorgeous outside. Meteorologist Candace Campos gave us that forecast well in advance, saying we're going to have a great weekend, and that's exactly what we got to do. I was the chief car judge. It's just the title, but they think I could run a car show thing, and I was like, guys, you're talking to the wrong guy. I'm just here to hang out with everybody. But really amazing rides. Was a really good day. Reginald, you guys, I'll talk about him. I'm basically his godfather at this point. The dog, Reginald, he came out, said hi to me while we were out there. That was really cool. So we're always up to something, right? But today we're talking about the traffic out here at the intersection that we're about to approach. And if you travel here to South Orange airport area, you know, traffic could be busy any time of day, because traffic out here is really dictated on the airport schedule. And then we do have a very random group of residencies that are out here off to my left-hand side here as we pass the fountains at Lee Vista. There are apartment complexes throughout this area, but it is primarily parking lots, large parking lots, businesses, and things like that. A lot of car dealerships within this area. So we are going to come out here to the intersection that I'm getting ready to approach. Not this one. This one is not the first one, but the next lit intersection. So here, if you're familiar with this area, we've got the Wawa here on the right. CarMax is off to my left, but the Wawa here next to the Panera, always probably one of the busiest Wawas in Orange County, just because, hey, they don't they don't get you on that gas. You know, some of these places you got to check before you pull into the gas station, especially by the airport or out by the attractions, because they will gouge you in a heartbeat, and you got to be careful. You can look at some of the bigger ones here, $3.39 for regular, where are we at, $3.82 for diesel, and you may pull into a gas station out this area, maybe charging you an extra $1. So you got to be aware for that. But just a little bit of reference, man. Everyone's on their phone. Everybody. Look at this. The sun's in our face. But flat out on his phone. Get off the phone. Pay attention. Anyways, so we're getting ready to approach the intersection up here. Keep in mind, your turning signal is an indicator. It gives you no right-of-way. It also doesn't create like a force bubble around your car to where people are just going to stop. A lot of people think that the turning signal gives you right-of-way. It does not. And that's going to be an Ask Trooper Steve, I think next week. That question was submitted. All right, so we're getting ready to approach the intersection of which the topic was asked about Hazeltine National Drive and State Road 436. So specifically markings in the roadway. And I'm familiar with this intersection. We're going to pull east on Hazelton here, west on Hazelton, and check out what these markings look like, and then talk about it. Now, something to keep in mind. When you're driving, how often do we look for traffic control devices? Your mind should be always scanning. You may not realize it, but it is. For example, as we're driving here, I'm headed south on Cimarron, about to approach Hazeltine National, and off to my right-hand side, there's any sign is a traffic control device. So here, bike lane, begin right turn lane, yield to bike. So before I move over here, I want to look, no bikes, I come over. Now that I'm in this lane, what are the markings on the road? Right turn only. If I kept going straight, I'm going to hit a wall or hit a car, right? So we're going to come over here. My GPS says we have arrived. We're going to check it out. I want to look at this nicely. I want to be able to dissect this intersection pretty good. And then, of course, we'll see what we can see. But just to keep in mind, sun is in our face. All right, so we're facing eastbound on Hazeltine, and there are multiple traffic control devices out here. Both sides of the roadway have signs letting you know what the lanes do. Center lane is to go straight. Left lane, make a left. Right lane, make a right. Okay? You can see those markings in the roadway. So if I was to be here to go straight, and I made a left turn, is that improper? Yes, it is. If I was in the right lane and decided to make a left, is that improper? Yes, it is. Are you tracking with me here? When you're in your travel lane, you're committed at that point. You are committed. And your job to fix that is to go and correct it down the road. You are not to correct it when you're already here and you've made your mistake. I didn't make the mistake for you. You did. I'm not controlling your car or your truck or your vehicle. So like here, if I'm in the straight lane and I realized, oh man, I need to get towards the airport and there are cars here, if there were cars to my right, I should not be trying to detour myself to this right travel lane. Few reasons why. Solid white lines in the road, and if the right is clear to go or the right's not, and they say the straight's good to go, I'd be blocking the straight lane because I'm going to sit here trying to get over. I would then be impeding the flow of traffic, obstructing a travel lane, moving violation, $164, 3 points on your driver's license. I don't care what you do for, look at these cars running the red light. Look at them, look at them, look at them, look at them, look at them. Oh, and she's on her phone. This is how we start off a Monday. And then people don't pay attention to traffic lights because they think that they can just do what they want. And I don't know if this area sees any severe enforcement. I'm willing to say it does not. But that's the kind of stuff. Nice stop sign. Real nice stop sign there, bud. We're going to hop the curb here a little bit. Right. Okay. All right. We're back at it. So, This is a good one here. Good way to see it. Look. So now we're facing westbound. Straight lane. Center lane goes straight. There is only one left turn lane here. Only one. So I'm going to hope that the driver in front of me continues to go straight and does not make a left. The Suburban here that doesn't have a tag properly displayed is in the left turning lane. Is that Suburban required to have their turning signal on? Yes. Does it? No. I could see the tag, but I could barely read it because it's in the back window. So improper display, no turning signal. We can go on for days. So if the roadway marking indicates that this lane is to only go straight and this car makes a left, it is committing a violation. But you've also got to think about, too, that Suburban's not expecting this vehicle to be on its right-hand side when making the left. So a crash could happen. Because if this lane, the left lane up here, is designed to go south on Cimarron, then in return, it's only a singular mode of travel. That driver would have the option then, okay, I want to move right, I want to move left. They're not expecting another vehicle to be with that. I hope that makes sense. So just because we're checking up to the sides, signage, and things like that, you need to be paying attention to the ground markings as well. Up when we were facing west, the sign is so clear, and I'm gonna pull off, and we're gonna look at that here in a second. But it's so clear, and they give you a warning. Look, before you get up here, be in the proper lane because the lanes are designated for directional travel, meaning each lane goes in a separate direction. You don't have choices. Okay, well, I'm going to stay in the left lane and go straight, or I'm going to stay in the straight lane and go left or right. You must do what the roadway indicates. So let's see what happens here. Both cars are going to go straight. Okay, we're going straight because we can, and this car did what it was supposed to. Thank you for that. Very nice of you, and that's what we want to see. So I want to go a little further east, and then we'll get turned back around, and we'll look at this intersection again, so we can actually dissect what those signs are saying. I know what they say. I can obviously see it, but the more I hate when drivers will say, "Well, Steve, the signs aren't clear enough." Well, what do you want them to do? That's a serious question. If the signs, how many more signs do we need? Because I can already see them. Now the sun's in our face a little bit, but I'm going to pull up right to one of the signs here because this is the kind of stuff that we should be paying attention to. So lights activated. We're disabled here for a second. Look at that. Clear as day on both sides of the road. So you have 3 lanes going east. It's not the eclipse, so you can look at your phone and you can look at your screen for this. It's clear. Center lane is straight. Left lane is north to turn left. Right lane is right to go south. If you are in the straight lane, you are not there as an option for left or right. I say that because it is solely a straight arrow. Now, obviously, if this was different, it would say straight with another curve, or to the left or to the right. Then you'd be allowed to use that middle lane for whatever you wanted. But here, eastbound Hazelton National Drive at Cimarron Boulevard, these are designated marked travel lanes that are specific for your direction of travel. They're not an option. So if I wanted to go straight, I'd be in the center. If I wanted to go left, I'd be in the left lane. So many times drivers will be like, oh, well, I messed up, so let me just fix it now. No, you should not fix it now. So example, I'm here. We are eastbound on Hazeltine. I'm approaching 436. I'm in the mandatory left turn lane. Mandatory. Why is it mandatory? Because the road is marked as mandatory. And therefore, I am not allowed to continue straight. I'm here. I am dedicated now to go north. If I didn't want to, then correct yourself somewhere. Make a U-turn. Make a right into the plaza if that's what you're looking for. The issues start to occur is when we start doing things and correcting it in mid-maneuver. Because that's when things get messy. That's when other crashes occur. That's when road rage happens. People get upset, all right? So we're going to make a left. My turning signal is on, but I do not have a clear left turn signal. So I'm just waiting here for traffic to go. You saw that Jeep? Saw that Jeep? The Jeep did exactly what we weren't supposed to be doing, and it did it. And it crossed from the center through. Ooh, that makes me mad. I have an idea. Let's go watch that intersection again. So we're going to come over here. You can see traffic's busy out here. It's always like this, guys. Always. All day, all the time. Even when I get in at 3:30, 3:45 in the morning and I check the data for the map, there's always cars out here. The data map picks up very sensitive traffic information. And when we start to see cars built up at a traffic light, my map picks it up automatically. This area is constant because of MCO, Orlando International Airport, being right here, really. And that's why. I want to set up here in the safety zone to see if we could watch it happen. Because we watched the Jeep do exactly what the viewer was complaining about. And it's people not being in their designated lane, or being in their designated lane, but doing something completely other. So a few things. If you're just joining us, let's recap this real quick. If you're joining us this morning, I'm here, Trooper Steve on patrol, Hazeltine National Drive at Cimarron. We're about 3-4 blocks north of Orlando International Airport. Very busy intersection. Hotels on all corners, restaurants, a strip mall. But east and westbound on Hazeltine, not a very wide or available road. You've got to pick your travel lane before you get to the intersection. Why? Because each lane is designated to go in a different direction. This is also marked by two different things. First one, signs on the side of the road let you know which travel lane is what, and guess what they did for you? They put markings on the roadway to let you know as well. So what you'll see is an arrow, and it says only. If it goes to the left, that obviously means only left turns. If it goes to the right, that means obviously only right turns. If it's a straight arrow, then you're not allowed to turn anywhere, and your goal is to go over the intersection. What are the problem we're seeing? Well, the viewer indicated that people just come out here and do what they want. And have we seen that already? Guess what? Yes, we have. We've seen 2 cars already do it, and it's frustrating because that is what causes a crash. None of us have psychic powers. If you do, you're probably on some 24-hour channel at like 2 o'clock in the morning trying to sell your business. No one's got these powers, and no one's going to know which direction you want to go until it's time to do it. So the only way we predict these things is hopefully that the adult operating the vehicle is safe and responsible enough that they are where they are supposed to be. Meaning, if you're in the left turning lane, I think you're going to turn left. If you're in the right turn lane, I think you're going to turn right. And I sure don't expect you to turn anywhere if I'm watching you in the straight lane, because that's when the crashes happen. All right, we're waiting for this light to turn. We're going to do a little bit of an observation before we wrap this up. I want to see, there's a little spot that I could back into. I want to see if that's going to work for us to where we can just watch this briefly out here. And I think we're going to have that opportunity to do that, which would be really cool. I'm going to make a wide U-turn here. Bear with me. Let's see if I can. I don't know why I don't breathe when I turn. There we go. Okay, so we're going to watch this here. There's a little spot that I could tuck into. Told one of my OPD friends I'd be doing this, so don't worry. And we're just going to see what happens. I'm interested to see what happens. We are out of the roadway, sitting out here in the safety zone in order to observe this. But you could see briefly, though. Obviously, I'm not in a travel lane. Left lane is to turn left. Straight lane, straight. There's a bicycle lane here. There's also a right turning lane. So the semi-truck that is approaching your video right now is in the designated left turn lane. They also have their turning signal on. I appreciate it. Everybody on your screen right now to the far right is in a designated right turn lane, meaning none of these drivers can do anything else other than what the travel lane is designed for, period. If they decide to do anything else, it'd be considered an improper turn, improper use of a lane, violation of traffic control device. I can come up with a few different statutes that would fit under. The center turn lane, the center straight lane is exactly that, straight lane. It is not an extra left, and that's what the problem is. We're seeing a lot of people use the travel lanes because maybe they think this semi is going to go too slow. Well, you know what? I'm sure there are a lot of things that people think about you that aren't true. Or, hey, maybe they are. But for this semi-truck, he can't go any faster than the vehicle is going to allow him. So when we're traveling, we need to understand that, okay, yeah, I'm behind a semi-truck. That's not a bad thing to be in. So I am interested. Oh, the van didn't do it. This bus didn't do it. Thank you. This bus was almost in the center lane to make the left. So we're going to see how this pans out. Oh, green light. Let's go, pedestrian. Okay, so now they're going to go. Hopefully, maybe. Not sure. Okay, green light, go. One shade of green. Okay, this bus is going to run it. So the bus is violating the right-of-way to the eastbound traffic right now. That bus did not have a left turn. The other traffic had the green, and it violated. This car's going to run the red. Ran the red light. Mitsubishi ran the red light there right in front of us. This is, I sometimes wonder why you guys listen to me. But then I'm listening to myself. I would listen to what this sounds like. Frustration, because there's two sides. Frustration because this is too easy. This game of life and traffic is so easy, and yet we make it difficult, and you guys give me a job. The second part of it is I wish I was in a traffic law enforcement vehicle with you guys right here so we could see this. Because I'd love to know, what part of the yellow light didn't you understand? Because you sped up like back here. What part of, like, just wait? For example, the bus. These guys have CDL driver's license, commercial driver's license, that are extremely important and can easily be messed with if they get in trouble. That right there would have landed them 3 points on their driver's license that are unremovable. A CDL driver cannot remove points from their driver's license if they take a traffic school. They just can't. It's crazy. They are a complete no. Only a judge can remove it. So we're going to watch this light cycle one more time, and then we're going to wrap it up. Again, we're at 436 Cimarron Boulevard at Hazeltine National, and this is just north of the airport. A very busy area, and the questions came in that people are failing to obey the markings on the roadway, therefore using travel lanes incorrectly. And we've already seen it. We've seen people run the red light. We saw a Jeep make a left from the right straight lane. We saw a bus make a left and violate traffic and not obey the traffic signals and violate someone's right-of-way. And then we saw that Mitsubishi right afterwards run it. I'm talking had the red light for breakfast. Breakfast sounds good, by the way. But I do want to see what this white Maxima in that center lane is going to do. So keep in mind, everything's properly marked out here to include the roadway. Roadway is marked just fine. I see no problems. Before you get to each side, traveling east or west, there are signs on both sides of the road telling you what the travel lanes are about to do. I want to see if these drivers are paying attention. So the left lane's the left turn. Let's see what happens here. The fact that I have to give a slow clap for some basic mess is ridiculous. So I encourage you guys to go back, watch this in full. Again, 436 at Hazeltine. A viewer asked me about this. I love these type of streams that we get to do because to a lot of people they're basic, but to other people they're entertainment. I'm one of them. And to others, you might learn something about it. Either way, roadway markings on the roadway are a traffic control device. If you don't pay attention to them, you can be issued a citation. You could even cause a crash. If the lanes are about to do something, I can guarantee you maybe 100, 200 feet before you got out here, there's a sign warning you. And if you're making a mistake, keep in mind, a traffic mistake can be fixed unless you crash. So if you're making minor issues and you got lost, you got in the wrong travel lane, fix it somewhere down the road. Do not make your mistakes someone else's problem. And when it comes to traffic, this is easily done. For now, guys, you guys have an amazing Monday. Please be safe out there. Pay attention to the signs that are posted, to the signs that are on the road. And I will see you guys bright and early for another great stream tomorrow, Tuesday. Stay hydrated, please. It's going to be a hot one. Stay pinpoint accurate with your weather with meteorologist Candace Campos, always bringing us super accurate information. Love her to death. And guys, have a good day. Wear your seatbelts. Have a good